What's up, Octolines? Thank you so much for checking out this video. This video will cover panels from Saturday, which we'll be going over how Demon Slayer fashion is actually related to Japanese culture. And we'll also be going over why we kind of have a connection to 2D or 3D fictional characters. And we'll also be going over some tips to help you guys with collecting them figurines. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please make sure to hit that like button. And thank you guys so much for watching.
So hi everyone. Thank you so much for waiting, for your patience. My name is Yoko Mamiya. I'm with Austin Japan Community in Austin. We are a non-profit organization in Austin, and our mission is to connect people with culture. And so it's wonderful to see Japanese anime getting such a global attention. Thank you all for being here. So, let's go next. Okay, works. All right, so Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Infinity Castle becomes highest grossing international film in the US, breaking the long-held record of 2000 film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Who has watched this movie, The Infinity Castle? Yay! All right, maybe half of you. I can't see too well with my glasses. But yes, thank you so much for helping the movie break the record in the US. So we are so grateful for the popularity of Japanese anime here in the US. And I'm guessing, so half of you know the story?
Yes.
Okay, should I skip? Okay, I'm gonna skip this page. All right, so it's a beautiful story about family, courage, determination, and such. All right, for those who have watched the anime or read manga, you might remember hearing the word Taisho throughout the series. Here is the scene from the TV series where the Taisho era is first mentioned. The hand demon asks, what did he say? What year of the Meiji era is it? And Tanjiro answers, it is the Taisho era. Oops. So, the story setting is in the Taisho era, which is one of the time periods in Japanese history. But when exactly is Taisho era? And what is the significance in the story? Here are some characters in Demon Slayer. I'm guessing most of you know their names. Yushiro, Murata-san, Ryu, and Muzan, Lord Ubuyashiki, the Oyakata-sama, right? So, in order to, okay, do you find that fashion very random? One is wearing Western style uniform with Japanese traditional items like katana, sword, zori, and colorful haori, a kimono jacket, or a button shirt inside a kimono, or a character with full traditional style and old modern suit style. What if I say they represent the Taisho era and its culture pretty accurately in their seemingly random fashion? In order to show that, I'm going to first talk about some Japanese history. And you get to learn new Japanese words like Taisho democracy, Wayo Senchu, Taisho Roma. And then you'll see the relation of Taisho era and Demon Slayer. And disclaimer here, I am not a history expert, but as a big fan of the Demon Slayer and someone with a Japanese background, I'm hoping to share some cultural perspectives that might help you enjoy Demon Slayer even more, or get some of you curious enough to start watching the anime or reading the manga. So let's dive into the history part. Japan divides history into eras based on the reign of the emperor. A new era begins when the emperor passes away or retires. Each era has a name. For example, this year, 2026, is Reiwa year 8, right here, Reiwa. It's a relatively new era. And the Taisho era lasted from 1912 to 1926, right here. It's only 14 years because
Bless you.
Emperor Taisho passed away at age 47 due to illness. Despite its short span, however, the Taisho era went through one of Japan's most creative and open-minded cultural moments. Now, let's go back a few hundred years before the Taisho era. So before Taisho, it's the Meiji era, and then Keio era. It's within Edo period. Oops. All right. And then during the Edo period, Japan was ruled by a series of samurai shoguns for about 500 years. The shogun was like a military leader who governed Japan in the emperor's name. The Tokugawa family in the Edo period ruled for about 200 years, having 15 shoguns or eras within. They maintained strict isolation from foreign countries. In the mid-1800s, however, American warships arrived, demanding Japan open to foreign trade. The shogun at the time decided to do so, which divided the country, leading to a civil war. Shogun versus emperor. And do you know which one won? Wow, you guys are smart. Yes, the emperor side won, and then, so the shogun side lost. So, and the Meiji era began under Emperor Meiji, and new ideas from the West started to come in. Then, so during the Meiji era, the biggest transformation was no more hierarchy system that had lasted for hundreds of years. That means there were no longer samurai as a social class. Samurai hairstyles, such as the samurai top knot right here, is disappeared. And carrying swords, this like thing, became illegal. For the first time, all people were allowed to have last names. Western technologies and culture began to enter Japan. Western-style clothing was introduced along with electricity, new forms of transportation, such as trains and modern communication systems. People started to eat new foods like beef, bread, milk, beer, and spices, which later led to sukiyaki, Japanese curry, and tonkatsu, and so forth. And so this is the start of Japan's modernization and westernization. But trends spread much more slowly at the time, with no internet, TV, or even widespread car use in the early years. Western influences were mostly limited to the upper classes and people living in major cities during the Meiji era. 45 years later, by the Taisho era, the Western influence became more widespread, leading to the unique fashion you see in Demon Slayer. It's getting there. So, but before that, here is what was happening in the US around the same time as the Taisho era. Democracy was expanding, like workers' rights and women's voices in the society. Japan, on the other hand, had just started to shift towards democracy. It encouraged people to value political participation, freedom of speech, and individual rights. It's called the Taisho democracy movement. It is a very important term in Japanese history. Everyone in Japan gets tested on this. And so Demon Slayer has a lot of historical references, but I don't want to bore you by going over every single detail for hours. So just like the movie, I've broken it down into 3 major parts. Part 1, Taisho fashion, the unique blend of Japanese and Western styles. Part 2, modernization and technology, electricity, trains, and architecture. Part 3, life and entertainment, cultural changes in daily life, food, and leisure. So today, we'll focus on part 1, the fashion and its historical aspects reflected in Demon Slayer. And I plan to explore the other themes as new Demon Slayer movies are released. Okay, there's more to come. Right, and so before we move on, another disclaimer. So not all of the fashion details are in Demon Slayer are historically accurate, such as bright hair colors and eye colors, men wearing earrings, which was unusual for that time, And also Mitsuri Kanroji's uniform. She seems to really like Western items, especially food, but showing that much skin was not acceptable yet in Japan. Alright, with that said, the story still reflects Japan at the time standing between tradition and modernity, or Western influences. Here's that Lord Ubuyashiki wearing all kimono representing tradition. He's the leader of Demon Slayer Corps. Muzan wearing all Western cloth representing modernity. He's the villain, right? And I like how they're portrayed with these contrasting styles as they represent two opposing forces, good versus evil, light versus dark, life versus death, and so forth. Then there is this green area between tradition and modern. And a lot of outfits you see in Demon Slayer falls in this area. It is called Wayo Sechu. So Wa means Japanese, traditional. Yo means Western, modern. Sechu means harmony and hybrid. So it means a blend of Japanese traditional and Western modern style. Examples of Wa is kimono, kimono like this, hakama, the pants wear, the haori, katana, zori, and geta, stuff like that. And then example of wa is, example of yo, the Western influence is military uniforms, suit, hat, button shirt, this kind of shoes and boots, canes, umbrellas, and then some details like lace items. And also nurse uniforms. These are actual nurses during the Taisho era, which is pretty close to how it's portrayed in Demon Slayer. But here is a Taisho secret. Even though Western style clothing was already common among medical staff, most patients still wore kimono instead of Western pajamas. So you can say that Shinobu was really ahead of her time in dressing her patients in Western hospital wear, like this one. Yes, Shinobu is great. So, and then examples of Wayo Sechu, the harmony, the blend style, is like the military uniform with haori, military uniform with the haori kimono jacket, and Western style belt with katana. Oh, and then also the zori, and also wearing a button shirt inside kimono. Oh, I don't have that. Let's see. Oh, and here's a quiz. Which Demon Slayer character is the best example of realistic Wayo Sechu that blend fashion in the Taisho era? Any guess?
The guy who helps the demon doctor, that has the shirt and then the kimono belt.
Wow. I was gonna give you a hint and another hint, but you didn't need it. Yes, you're right. It is Yushido, right? Yes. That he was helping this lady doctor. Right. So this button shirt with kimono style was really common, and this is actual photo of students taken in the Taisho era. And then here's a close-up. You can see the resemblance is pretty striking. And then here is Murata-san, right? One of the mob characters in the Slayer uniform. The Slayer's uniform is not some random imaginary hybrid design either. This is a uniform worn by Byakutai, this guy. It's called White Tiger Unit in English, during the Civil War at the end of the Edo period. Do you see the resemblance? So it has the Western style jacket and hakama worn like pants style with that shin guard, and then wearing zori. It is actually said that the whole Demon Slayer is inspired by the Byakutai, White Tiger Unit. Okay, The Byakutai, or White Tiger Unit, was made up of young samurai from the Aizu domain, mostly around 16 to 17 years old, who fought in the Civil War at the end of the Edo period. Much like the young demon slayers, they fought with courage and loyalty far beyond their ages. What happened to them was actually tragic. They mistakenly thought their castle was lost, so they took their own lives. Here in the illustration, they were actually about to commit harakiri. So this is their castle. It looks like it's burning, so they thought that they were lost. Yeah, so when you look at the Byakutai uniform, which is from the late Edo period, and the Japanese military uniform from World War I, this one, in the Taisho era, the Slayer uniform feels pretty believable to me. And then I also see resemblance of the Slayer's uniform in Japanese Yankee school uniforms, like this, particularly styles featuring short jackets and wide balloon-shaped pants like this. Yankee students are part of a rebellious youth subculture in Japan. Rather than rejecting school uniforms altogether, they customize them to stand out within Japan's strict dress code at school. And this is a normal school uniform. So maybe this Yankee style originally was also influenced by Byakutai, just like the Demon Slayer. All right, so ever since Japan started foreign trade, Western influences have flown in, and Wayo-Sechu style was created. The Wayo-Sechu style at the time still kept the elegance of traditional kimono, and people added Western touches through accessories like gloves, boots, shoes, or Western style hats, right here, or umbrellas. Now, thanks to the political transformation like Taisho democracy, more common people were able to receive education, which helped them become more aware and started to value individuality and self-expression in art, fashion, and literature. This cultural movement is known as Taisho Romanticism, Taisho Roman for short. And, here we go. The Wayo-Sechu style also evolved into Taisho Roman style, like bold patterns, vibrant colors, and innovative fabrics were used in kimono and obi, the sash, along with decorative details like lace. So here are some illustrations and photos of real Taisho Roman style at the time. This illustration is from a magazine issued in the Taisho era. It says 1914 right here. Notice the bold kimono colors and patterns, red and black. It's, yeah, the bold colors. And then here's some more. The bold patterns, and then pretty colors. And in Demon Slayer, the Wayo-Sechu is visible in Slayer's uniform, like this Murata-san style, right here. And then the Taisho Roman style is Wayo-Sechu plus creativity and individuality. So I think the spirit of Taisho Roman is expressed through their characters' haori. Look at the bold colors and patterns in the haori worn by Tanjiro. I guess you know them. Tanjiro, Giyu, right here, and then Zenitsu. What I love about Demon Slayer is that these designs are not just decorative. They carry meanings also. Here is Tanjiro Kamado's haori, featuring a black and green Ichimatsu pattern. It is originally known as stone pavement or hail pattern, but people started to call it Ichimatsu pattern after a popular kabuki actor's stage outfit in the Edo period. So this pattern has been used in Japanese design for thousands of years. It symbolizes eternity and prosperity because the pattern continues endlessly without interruption. Do you remember other characters having this Ichimatsu pattern in the story? Anyone? Okay. All right, I'm gonna. Nezuko, look at her sash. This is the obi. This is Ichimatsu pattern, and then the rest of the Kamoto family, they have some Ichimatsu pattern going on right there. They're pretty neat. Yes, it is a quite common, popular good luck pattern in Japan. But I think it is really neat that the Kamoto family has it because the Kamoto family vowed to Yorichi, who was the legendary samurai, that they would carry on the Kagura dance, which is this dance, yes, and the earrings for generations to come. So they're on a mission to keep the tradition. Oh, here is another Taisho secret. Have you noticed that Louis Vuitton's damier pattern strongly resembles the Ichimatsu pattern? Unfortunately, it is just a coincidence. Yes, Louis Vuitton is not officially partnered with Demon Slayer. Unfortunately. All right. Here, okay, so the pattern of Giyu Tomioka's Haori derives from the Kiko turtle shell motif because a hexagon resembles a turtle shell. It symbolizes long life, stability, and good luck, as turtles are said to live for 10,000 years in folklore. And where have we seen this Kiko logo?
Soy sauce?
Yes, wow. I couldn't tell actually. Yes, you're right. Most well-known shoyu brand from Japan, Kiko Man. Yeah, you're right. It's right here. Yes, that's what's called Kiko Man. Right. Actually, the Giyu's Haori is a special type of Kiko pattern called the Bishamon Kiko. It consists three joined hexagons, two below and one above. This three hexagon design came from the armor of Bishamonten. And Bishamonten is one of the celestial guardians in Japanese Buddhism, a powerful god of war and battle. The pattern symbolizes protection from harm and a wish for victory. Who has visited the big Buddha in Nara at Todaiji in Japan? Anyone? There is a really famous big Buddha in Nara inside Todaiji temple, and then this Bishamonten is right next to it apparently. Okay, actually the Haori originally belonged to Sabito's kimono, who was Giyu's best friend, right here. Sabito was known to be exceptionally skilled with the sword. During the final selection to join the Demon Slayer Corps, he was about to kill all of the demons by himself, being such a brave warrior like Bishamonten, right? But unfortunately, he was killed trying to help other candidates. So Giyu carries his legacy along with his sisters on his Haori, half and half style. And then here's another Taisho era secret. So this half and half style was considered outdated during the Edo period, but the unique design came back with the Taisho Roman style. So that makes Giyu actually a pretty trendy guy. Right? Here is Zenitsu Agatsuma's Haori. It features the Uroko or scale pattern. This design is characterized by a continuous arrangement of triangles, resembling the scales of snakes or fish. The pattern symbolizes renewal and protection from misfortune, as it evokes the image of a snake shedding its skin and growing stronger with each transformation. This perfectly suits Zenitsu's character. He used to only unlock his true power when he was passed out or sleeping. So he was getting subconscious protection from extreme fear he had. And also his Haori design is symbolic of his transformation. So this is a timid Zenitsu before the Infinity Castle versus the determined fighter he became. Entering Infinity Castle. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope now you can see that it's not just because they're anime characters that they wear such unique outfits. The Demon Slayer outfits closely follow the historical and cultural styles of the Taisho era. Although not all of the outfits are portrayed with complete historical accuracy, they embody elements of Ryo-Setsu styles of the Taisho era, and the colorful expressions in their haori can be seen as reflections of Taisho Roman. So this is it for the presentation today. Again, I hope that knowing the Japanese cultural and historical background will make Demon Slayer even more meaningful to you. Thank you for your time and total concentration.
So much for coming to our panel. This is Figure Collecting 116. We have this space for about till 4:30, 4:40 if you guys are joining us. But yeah, we're going to tell you everything we know about collecting figures. Okay, let's go to order. I didn't know if you were pressing the button or if I was pressing the button. Sorry. My name's AP, aka Aesthetic Player. I'm into anime, video games, cosplay. I'm an average collector. I think I started my collection 3 years ago. Yes, 3 years ago. My current fixation, oh, 2, really? Sorry, I have a terrible perception of time. My current fixations are playing the drums and looking for new ways to express myself creatively. And that could be either wholesomely or not. So, moving on to my friend.
Hi, I'm Drift. You can find me at DriftFlex on both Instagram and TikTok. I like to say that I was born to collect. If you ask my mom, she puts my phases of life into things that I've been interested in. Like Teletubbies, Littlest Pet Shop. I used to collect cars, rocks, seashells, feathers. I've been collecting my entire life, and this is just the chapter I'm at now. My hobbies include collecting Fortnite and annoying my dog. I should have added a picture of him in here. He's just adorable, so I can just make y'all look at him without running away. My current fixations are Pokemon cards, because I also collect those. Rengoku, Mads Mikkelsen. That's my man right there. That's my man. That's a fine man.
Alright, we're going to start off with my slide. Prize figures. This tells me what got me into collecting figures to begin with. So we're going to talk about what is a prize figure. Why are they named that? Prize figures are mass-produced figures and painted by machines. They are usually used as like in raffles and stuff. They are the most, in my opinion, the most inexpensive figure that you can get, which is why I think it's a great figure to start off with, minus Funko Pops, but that's a different story altogether. These figures are different, given that they are the most inexpensive, like I said, easy to find, but because they're so easy to find, they're more prone to being bootlegged than any other figure that you will encounter.
Prize figures can also be referred to those figures that you can get like out of claw machines. Those are also called prize figures. They tend to have more imperfections than other figures because they're so mass produced. But I do think this is a very good place to start. Especially like, I really hate figure elitists. Like, we're all collecting hunks of plastic at the end of the day. Like, anyways, prize figures are fine. Don't let anybody discourage you from them. But some of them do look kind of wonky. Like, as the previous slide said, I love Rengoku. And one of the most common prize figures you can get is by company Good Smile. They make pop-up parades, and those are the ones with the hexagonal bases. His awful. It looks terrible. I've seen better bootlegs of that figure. I normally don't really care for those because of the odd figure shape. Like, I have a limited amount of room for everything, and those are just so inconvenient.
True that.
Oh yeah, this is my slide. All right, Funko Pops. This is how I started collecting figures specifically. Now, one thing that you had mentioned, like hard to find, Funko has almost everything that you can imagine. They've got it or they're in the works because they're very scheming. We love them. They're cute, or at least the ones I get are cute. All of these are mine. Some of them have licensing kind of, I'm not gonna say issues because there's really no issues, but like if you get a Marvel Pop, for example, it's not going to be a figure, it is specifically a bobblehead because another company owns the rights for figures. So to get around that, they make bobbleheads. I don't particularly enjoy them, but I do love Hawkeye and Doctor Strange, so they are somewhere in my collection. They do have dark, soulless eyes, I'll admit it. My sister-in-law she won't step foot in my room because they're everywhere, and she's like, they're watching me, how do you sleep in here? But not all of them have black eyes. Like you can see the Asui, she has blue eyes, and then the Godzilla also has blue eyes. And he also glows in the dark as well, it's very cute. They do watch you while you sleep at night, but I'm very well protected. For the most part, like, they have like a certain like Funko Pop look. They have the eyes and then normally no mouth, but I don't know if you can see it, but Asui has a mouth, and so does Godzilla. It just depends on like what direction they go in with the molds. And because these things are so mass produced, this has to take the #1 spot for bootlegs, but their bootlegs look better than a lot of other figures because, I mean, look at them. I'm glad they've started going with more creative molds because for the longest time, all the pops, they just look like this. Same pose, same everything. Let me see, there are chases. There's 1 in 6 chance of having something slightly different, which is the one in the middle. It's Luck, he's from Black Clover. If you haven't watched it, you should. One of them, they both have slightly different molds, but the Chase, the one where he's on, kind of looks like he has 4 legs, it also glows in the dark. Chases won't always have something like that big of a difference. Normally it's like, oh, it just has metallic paint on it, which I hate. Those are lazy to me. But I still like them, I still love them, and I think that they're a great place to start. My advice would be though, because I see a lot of beginner collectors do this, they'll get into pops and they'll just buy every single pop they see. And then once they start kind of getting into the rhythm of what they actually want to collect, they now have a bunch of stuff they can't get rid of because nobody else wants it either.
Oh, did you say that some Funko Pops are only sold like at conventions?
Oh, no, I didn't, but yes, there are exclusive convention pop exclusives. That doesn't necessarily mean the only place you're going to get them is the convention. It just means the ones you get from conventions will have the convention sticker. And if you're one of those people that collect for value, that might be something that you're interested in. I personally don't care, but they usually have like a shared retailer, so it'll be on the Funko site, or it'll be at Hot Topic or GameStop. GameStop might not exist, I don't know.
Let's not talk about it. Nindroids.
This is also my slide. Hello, I love these things. They're cute. They're so cute. They're so cute. You can think of like what is it, the SHF figures, but like a lot smaller and a lot less articulation. They are so hard to assemble. I thought everybody was lying to me when they were saying that this will like test you. No, he's not in the picture, but there's a Levi Ackerman android across the entire board. Everybody hates him. Like, I could just think of him, like, he's probably on the floor right now. He's talking. They are pretty fragile. They've moved on, I forgot what the specific number is, but they've kind of moved on to 3D printing rather than what they used to do was like hand make them, hand paint them. They've started using more machinery. So I have noticed they are more fragile than their older counterparts. And then price, I'll admit these are expensive. These are really expensive. You can find them for as low as 40, but they usually retail around like 50, 60. I have, like 130 of them now. I love them. I think they're so cute. I love how customizable they are. You can mix and match. I swap the head sometimes. These are also made by Good Smile Company. They have a lot of fakes. I think the fakes for these are easier to spot because they always either look sticky or like they're melting. And then a good way to tell if it's authentic is if you pop the head off, it should have on the neck joint a little smile stamped into the neck joint. But bootlegs have also started to use that, so you gotta really pay attention.
Any questions about Nendroids? Yes, you
Do you have a favorite?
Let me see. I have so many. I told myself when I started collecting Nendroid, well, first of all, I said I'm not collecting Nendroids because they're so expensive. And then I got one, I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then I was like, all right, I can get these, but I can't get any Mikus. And then I started getting Mikus. And you know how Barbie every year has like a winter Barbie?
Yeah.
Miku has winter.
She got
It's a
every
snow Miku every year. And I love those.
They're really cute.
But I also have a Miku Nendroid that's a foot tall. So I think that one has to be my favorite. I got it at a really good deal. It was $30 because it was yeah, awesome. I don't know if we're gonna cover this in another slide, but I'm just gonna spoil it now. Please take your figures out of the box. I'm not saying that to like ruin the value or anything, but the plastic that they are made out of needs to breathe.
Or at least Nendroids.
Nendroid, especially with Nendroids, if you leave them in the box for years, they will become sticky. And it's not hard to get that stickiness off. It's just like a little soap, a little warm water, but not too warm because it can melt the paint. But that's just not worth it to me.
Blah, blah, blah. Big fear with a small number. Listen. Is it really?
Yeah, this is my slide.
My bad.
Awesome. Hi. Yes, these are scale figures. These are the things that confused me the most when I started collecting. It'd be like 1/4 scale, 1/7 scale. I'm not good at math, so I've had to learn. Biggest thing I can tell you, the bigger the denominator, that's the one that's on the bottom.
Denominator.
The smaller, denominator, yeah. You went to school. The bigger the number, the smaller the figure actually is. So the smaller the number, the bigger the figure is. This Rengoku is a 1/4 scale. This thing is huge. So huge. Anyway, blah, 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 numbers. This Nina, I believe, is a 1/7 or 1/8 scale. I typically don't really like those kind of scales because they look the same, they look similar to prize figures, or that's around the exact same size, but these are a lot more expensive. Thankfully, I got this a little cheaper, and that'll be brought up a little later. But these, I mean, it's all plastic, but it has more attention to detail. And if you go like with a resin scale, those are like limited in number. And I found out recently that those are limited in number because of a copyright rule. You can only make a certain amount without getting like fine tax, blown up, I don't know.
Any questions about scale figure? Housekeeping. Do you want to do this one? I can do this one if you want.
I mean, we're partners. You go first.
Housekeeping. Let's do it. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we have to dust our figures. It is recommended once a week. My life is too chaotic for once a week, but whenever you can. And the reason why is because the paint can get damaged. It can damage your figures, guys. I'm not sure if anyone in here plans on reselling figures. Me personally, no. You cannot have my precious. But yeah, you gotta dust them off.
The dust will stick in the paint, like it will get stuck in the paint. That has happened to a couple of times. I choose to ignore it because I'm not dusting those. You should.
Absolutely.
Do as I say, not as I do. But
I'm on the road 6 days out of the week, so trying to dust my figures once a week, that is rough. I feel the pain. Do you have any recommendations for like a display case?
yes, actually, glass display cases will lower your dusting tremendously. I can't recommend any specific brands because my room is too small for all that fancy stuff. That's why it kind of looks like, ooh, somebody on Reddit called me a hoarder.
That's actually pretty cool.
Man, that's because it's not all this. It is an aesthetic. I'm just trying to fit where to get in. I've used nail glue to glue my figures back together. It works wonders. So if y'all want to use super glue, nail glue, it's cheap. Just hold it down for a little while. It's fine.
Would not recommend these if you're trying to resell though.
So nail glue for repairs, and then anything with soft bristles as far as getting in the crevices.
Yes, that's a great way to just summarize this whole slide right here. I love it. Any other questions? Going once? Please don't be shy. You guys would make me nervous.
Crunchyroll.
Yep.
Don't buy from Crunchyroll unless you are desperate. They don't put any packaging in their boxes. They will put your figure in a box and ship it out as is. I got, it was a Nendroid. I don't know if y'all like Haikyuu, but I got a Haikyuu Nendroid. It was the last one they had in stock. The box was ripped when it got to me. The paneling on it was going in. And when I contacted the customer service about it, they said, you can send it back or we'll give you $20. I took the $20. I took the $20. Because I took it out of the box anyway, but like, I shouldn't be having to pay all this money just to have a rock like that, right? They do have a lot of good figures. I do think they overprice for their figures, even by American standards. I try to avoid them. They also will take your, when you pre-order, there are two different kinds of pre-orders. You can pay for it when it arrives / when it ships, or when you pre-order. Crunchyroll will take your money when you pre-order. And I used to be that used to be my preferred method. Like, yeah, why would anybody not want to pay for their no, I get it now. I've seen it like, you buy from Crunchyroll?
It was a Zenetsu figure, and I was lucky. I think it was, yeah. I was lucky. He came out pretty decent. I was like, you're not broken. I'll take the win. But yeah, it was overpriced though, in my opinion. It was overpriced, in my opinion, compared to other sites that sell those. Yes, in the back.
Good Smile Company. Nah, I love Good Smile Company as our previous. That being said, I don't necessarily like how they go about certain things. Well, it was either last year or the year before last, they had a massive security breach, and a lot of people got their card information stolen. And instead of acknowledging that, they just ignored all the comments regarding it. They turned off their comments, and I just don't like. That's not the kind of company that I want to personally work with. They unfortunately just have a lot of the stuff I like at decent-ish prices, especially the ones that come with like bonus things. Drum roll, please. Surabaya.
I love
I love Surabaya. This is newer for me, and they quite often, and I mean like often, have free shipping days, so you don't have, no matter what you get, you don't have to pay shipping. Do you still have to pay tariffs? Yes. But you don't have, it's not with that shipping fee included, and I absolutely love that. They have an amazing pre-owned section, and they also have, like, not just figures, you can get watches from there, you can get, like, cookware from there. Like, it is absolutely abundant and amazing. Love it, love it.
Actually, this website is the first time I've ordered online for a figure, and I was so surprised because out of all the websites, with my first encounter of it, it offered alternative options. So it would say, oh, if you want this figure new, this is the price. If you want it, pre-owned, and they have like different grades of pre-owned, so you know like how damaged it is, and they offer the price of that as well. So it was really awesome. Number one.
Ami Ami.
You can't beat them.
I have an Ami Ami addiction. Before tariffs, I still buy after tariffs, because I just wanted to see how bad the damage would be, like after, and honestly, it's not.
The communication with Ami alone.
They have the best customer
Surpasses
service
any other
ever.
online. They're better than DoorDash at this point. They will make sure, like, oh, if there's any delays, any changes, or oh, we don't have this in stock, they let you know immediately. There is no playing around.
I love them. They have the website layout, absolutely amazing. I love it. They have free pre-owned section, they have new sections. They also have deals quite often, which is very nice. Like I can't sing enough praises for Ami Ami, but there is one downside. Be careful with what you cancel, and make sure that when they send you that invoice, you pay it. Like I've been using Ami Ami for like 4 years now, and unfortunately your girl did get banned from the site
Damn.
a while ago, because what had happened was I tried to cancel my order, and they're like, sometimes they will let you cancel certain things, but not all of it. And they were like, unfortunately, no. And I was like, well, I don't want them anymore. I'm not going to pay for them. And they were like, why? I'm not going to lie, I begged for my account back. I begged. I was like, please, please, I lost my job, please, which I did. I was like, please, 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 they give me my account back. And they still had all my points. Like, you can add, like, all your purchases earn you points. So sometimes the points I accrue cover the shipping costs entirely. We love that. What do you have to say?
They're like, the best way to describe Ami Ami as a person, they're like that really strict, like, yeah, we'll give you everything you need, but I want my money. I want my money. Yes.
Oh yeah. If you follow all of our advice, and even if you don't, you can look like all of these pictures were provided by my very lovely mutuals. I wish I had shelves that look like that. It's very pretty, very, very pretty. Love them, love them. These are some people that helped make this presentation possible. I love all of these people. And thank you so much for coming out and listening to us. I think this is actually our biggest turnout ever. Like, oh my God. Thank y'all so much. Now,
The main event, well, sort of.
y'all are all, as long as you're over 18, that's all I ask. If you're 18 or older and you would like to join our Discord.
This is kind of a remake of a panel I did a few years ago at fictional.Can called In Defense of Moe, Why We Love Cute Stuff. I wanted to focus specifically on the waifu/husbando aspect of Moe. But we'll get to that in a minute, don't worry. Next slide, please. So, as I said before, my name's Holly. I'm 33 years old. I've been watching anime since I was in middle school. I play guitar, I'm a CPA, I love anime conventions, and I'm in love with a fictional character. And I have been for coming up on 18 years now. Next slide. So I consider heterosexuality somewhere in the ballpark of fictosexuality, which basically means that my orientation is geared primarily towards fictional characters. It's similar to aegosexuality or autochorus sexuality, which is sexuality that exists outside of oneself. I have fantasies, but I don't all necessarily act on them. I actually have a zine right here called I Can't Pronounce My Sexuality. The artist of the zine is gracious enough to be here tonight. So I'm gonna hand the zine off to her, and if she would be so kind as to pass it around, that would be awesome.
All right. Do you want to kind of just walk around and show people which?
Keep passing and we'll sneak through to when we get together.
Is that working, Holly?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Another term that or you may see thrown around is demisexuality, which is sexuality that only emerges after a strong bond has been formed. So those are three terms, all on the asexual spectrum, that describe me to one extent or another, and that's probably. I hope this all hasn't been TMI. Next slide, please. So let me take you back to the summer of 2008. I had just finished my freshman year of high school, and I was watching a lot of anime while cooped up in my bedroom instead of playing outside. And one of the shows that I watched was something called Lucky Star. Some of you know what's up. And there's a clip from Lucky Star that completely changed the course of my life. If you would kindly press the button. Don't do this, please. Something about that scene flipped a switch in my head, and I have never been the same. Next slide, please. One more time. Sorry about that. I swear this didn't happen. It happened last night out of the other panel. But anyway, so my waifu is Tsukasa Hirogi from Lucky Star, and I have to give you a little bit of backstory about why she's my waifu. Let's address the elephant in the room. She does look kind of diminutive.
A child.
Why do I do this to myself? But she has been my waifu since I was 15, and the context is I grew up in the shadow of my twin brother, who it seemed like everything I could do, he could do better. And Tsukasa is kind of in a similar boat of having an older twin that takes away a lot of the spotlight. And I remember seeing those clips of Lucky Star and watching the anime and just thinking, I hope she knows how wonderful she is, because I don't think enough people tell her. And I used to think and something about seeing her and imagining myself being her friend and possibly more was comforting for me. Next slide, please. What this all comes down to is moe. Next slide. So what is moe? Moe is a Japanese term for a feeling of strong infatuation and affection. It's a desire to protect and care for a character. It's associated with bishoujo games and other bishoujo media, and 2D love in general. Next comment. This is the spelling for moe on the screen. It's spelled with the kanji for to sprout. One story I heard about why this kanji in particular is used is that people on Japanese message boards in the 90s talking about burning for affection with a character, and then the computer autocorrecting from the burn kanji to the sprout kanji because they're pronounced the same way. But that's just what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not. Next slide, please. So I want to talk about a few possible origins of the concept of moe. These predate the actual term moe, but I think the idea has been around for decades. Lost World was a manga anthology by Osamu Tezuka, the creator of Astro Boy. And there was a story in Lost World about a scientist named Kenichi who befriends this bioengineered plant girl named Ayame. Some stuff happens, they get abandoned on a deserted planet, and they decide that they're going to live together as brother and sister. And that resonated with people. A few decades later, there were, stop me if you've heard this one before, a toy company commissioned an anime studio to make a show to sell toys to little girls. And then, and about 6 months after the show came out, Magical Princess Miki Momo, the toys finally started selling, but the studio was shocked to discover it wasn't little girls driving the toy sales, it was grown men.
Yeah, that's us.
Now, show to sell toys to little girls gets a huge adult male fan base. Where have I heard this before?
Prison.
Last answer.
Someone said it, My Little Pony. Around the same time, there was a subculture magazine in Japan called Manga Buriko, and there was an editorial in one issue of Manga Buriko where the editor made fun of adult fans of shows like Miki Momo, and the author of that article used the term otaku, which is a derogatory way to say you. And people were incensed by this, and they wrote letters to the editor defending their feelings. And that is possibly where we get the term otaku from.
Woo!
And now we're all here. Next slide, please. Now there's a specific character that named Moe that people think may have been a possible namesake. Does anyone know who that character is?
Is it Hotaru Tomoe?
That's a popular theory because she did show up in anime around the same time as when Moe first started gaining popularity. The reason why I personally don't think it's her is it wouldn't make sense for well, number one, Hotaru was almost never referred to by her last name in the actual show. And number two, it wouldn't make sense for the second part, the second character in her last name to be used as a nickname. So I have a theory of my own. If you could hit the button, please. Moe Sagisawa from the anime Dinosaur Planet. Hit it 2 more times. So there's a few characteristics that I look for as someone you in the back.
To make sure I'm following, you're saying that you think that the history and the etymological origins of the character Moe, whose first name is Moe, was that one?
Possibly, yes.
Excellent, thank you.
So there are a few characteristics that people have identified as evoking Moe in people. Next slide, please. The first is characters that is simply put, very cute. There are specific ways in which a character can be cute, like big eyes, or a small mouth, or a high-pitched voice, or chubby cheeks. Speaking of chubby cheeks, next slide, please. Who recognizes Squid Girl? Yeah. Some of you know what's up. So Squid Girl is a really interesting case study for the Moe art style, if I would go so far as to call it. Now, I want you to pay a close attention specifically to her cheeks. You'll see that And like in general, she doesn't really have any straight lines in her character design. And her cheeks especially, they kind of bulge out, and if you follow the outline of her cheek, it goes from instead of in a lot of other anime coming to a sharp point, it kind of flattens out at the bottom. That's something that people have been doing in anime and manga for a long time, and a lot of people find it endearing. The next slide, please. Some of you know who this is.
Yeah.
Pinkie Pie?
Haru Uraka.
Haru Urara,
Alright, my bad. You got it.
the communal daughter of the Uma Musume fandom. So innocence is a big part of what appeals to people when it comes to moe, and especially an aspect of innocence that really speaks to people is inexperience with romance. You can draw your own conclusions about why inexperience with romance would be a moe point. I think it's probably so people can imagine being that person for them. I know that's a feeling I felt before when it comes to fictional characters. And the third characteristic, and I swear this is not a My Hero Academia reference. Next slide. But these characters are quirky. So moe quirks can show up in a few. Again. So getting back to the topic of moe quirks, there are a few different quirks that can be that people can find appealing. Some of them are visual, such as Toru having a maid dress, a big tail, and dragon horns. There are also behavioral moe quirks, like being clumsy or crying a lot. And there are even verbal quirks. We looked at Squid Girl a couple slides ago, and in the Japanese, she makes in Japanese she ends a lot of her sentences with gesso, which they translated in the English dub by having her make a bunch of aquatic puns. Next slide, please. And this is not limited to female characters either.
Yes! Yes! Honey! Yes!
Did someone say bunny?
It's honey.
Oh, honey. No, that's Momichi from Fruits Basket.
Oh.
But I do have a story about Honey Senpai.
Oh, that's his best, and I don't remember which way. No, it's not best. He is cute, though. He is cute.
Who can tell me who any of these boys are?
Sasuke and fucking Nino.
Yes!
My god damn it! They're so cute. There is a scene that lives rent free in my head from that anime.
So we got them. We've got Yuki from Princess Connect. This was a show. Some of you, like, this crowd's great. Thank you for being here, especially during the cosplay contest. And then my Ensemble Stars phase was very brief, but I was very endeared to Hajime. Baby boy, my son.
Our son.
Our son.
Wait, what was that?
Our
Collective son.
Yes, the collective son.
You just made him our son. He's everyone.
I have a type. Next slide, please. Okay, this is where things get a little controversial. And yes, I do see the irony of being a non-binary trans woman dressed as a casual version of Astolfo, and then having Astolfo in my own panel. So I need to speak my truth here, okay? So one of my main sources for this panel is is the book The Moe Manifesto by Patrick Galbraith. Hello. And one of the people that Dr. Galbraith interviewed for that book was a singer and voice actress named Haruko Momoe, and she talked about and they talked about Moe and what it's all about. And she had an interesting point, which is that to feel Moe for a character is to a certain extent wanting to be with them. Sometimes it's wanting to protect them, but also sometimes it's, to some extent, wanting to be them. And she talked about the way in some Moe properties, K-On! Being a good example of this, that there really aren't any male characters for the presumed male audience. Because K-On! Was printed in a magazine aimed at males. So the question remains: in a show, in a series like K-On!, which is aimed at a male audience but doesn't really have any male characters, who are the readers meant to identify with? I can't remember if it's Shonen or Seinen, but the magazine was Manga Time Kirara, which is aimed at a male audience. But that doesn't mean that female readers can't enjoy it as well. I know. For example, there are plenty of women who like shonen anime. But getting back to the point, some characters that evoke Moe have a certain androgyny to them, and Astolfo is one of them. I mean, if you think about it, Astolfo has quite a few Moe points. They have kind of a curvy design. They have the little lip thing. They're really cute. They're funny. They're wholesome, and I wish people wouldn't sexualize them as much as they do.
Man, they didn't do that to Bob the Builder games.
Rule 34.
Truth nuke. Next slide, please. Who knows this one? Senko, yes. Officer, I swear, she's 800 years old. She is 800 years old, though. So I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of Moe is just wish fulfillment. And wish fulfillment can manifest in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's wanting to date a character or be them, or sometimes you just want to be pampered by them, especially when they have a big fluffy tail. I mean, the whole point of Senko-san is that it's about a depressed salaryman who meets an 800-year-old fox thing and gets pampered by her because anime reasons. Please watch Senko-san, it's very cute. Next slide. We're going to briefly touch on a little bit of Japanese terminology that you may come across in the world of self-shipping. So there are terms that you may have heard before, like fujoshi or himejoshi. And you may be wondering what the equivalent is for self-shipping. That is, next slide please, yumejoshi. Yumejoshi means dreaming girl, and there's an interesting etymological origin for the term yumejoshi. In the early 2000s, there was a genre of fiction called dream novels, which were novels that you would read on your cell phone, and a lot of them had some JavaScript that let you insert your own name into the story. kind of like a precursor to the modern YN fiction.
Yeah.
So I wanted to introduce you to some Japanese terminology that you may come across online. The first of which is yume shousetsu, dream novel. This is basically what we talked about before, self-insert or dare I say it, YN fiction. Did you have a question in the back?
Oh no.
Okay. Another term that you may come across is yumeshu, or dream master. This is basically the main character of the self-insert fantasy. If you've ever poked your head in self-shipping Discord servers, you may be familiar with the concept of a no doubles list, or people not wanting to associate with people who have the same fictional lover as they do. In short, I am reading myself to filth, aren't I? In the Japanese yume or self-shipping community, there's some terms that you may see, such as dotan kange, which means something along the lines of shared burden. It basically means exactly what it says in the infographic. It's where someone who is yume or a self-shipper is okay with other people having the same fictional lover. It's similar. Its antonym is dotan kyohi, or refusal, or this means something like refusal of burden. You in the white, did you have another question?
Yes. So doubling back to the technical terms for the levels of sexuality interacting with the fans and the subject and object. And so is this particular sharing definition, this Japanese one, referring to the feeling of navigating, I don't know, polyamory with a fictional character?
Come find me after the panel, we'll talk about it. Next slide, please. Now I want to talk to you about a few case studies that I came across as part of my research for this panel. And the first one is something that you may have heard before if you were online in 2017. Especially in the moe anime sphere. Next slide, please.
Oh.
Who remembers Grape Coon? All right, let me bring you up to speed. How are we doing? Okay. So let me go. So here's a refresher. So there was this anime called Kamino Friends. It was kind of a big deal, even though it looks like an N64 game. Affectionate.
That's the best part. No.
Who said no?
It's your appreciation of game, but you mean no.
For real. Get your art appreciation up.
Okay, all right. We've seen. All right, so Kamino Friends. It comes out. It's kind of a big deal, and then the Tobu Zoo in the Saitama Prefecture of Japan starts putting cardboard cutouts of characters from Kamino Friends in the exhibits. And at one of those exhibits was a Humboldt penguin named Grape Coon. Now, Grape Coon had a pretty rough life. He had lost his mate, he had lost his baby, he had lost his friends. He was not doing good. But something changed when the cardboard cutout of Hululu from Chemical Friends was put in his exhibit, he would stare at her for hours. He would do like mating gestures towards her. There were even rumors that he would refuse to eat because he didn't want to stop staring at her. This attracted international media headlines from people who were basically saying that Rick Kun was in love with Hululu. Now, unfortunately, the story doesn't have the happiest ending. I just have to warn you, because although there was supposed to be more stuff going on in 2017 involving Rick Kun, his health took a turn for the worse, and he actually passed away that same year. There was an outpouring of grief from Chemical Friends fans, and eventually, as a tribute to him, they put a new cutout in the Humboldt Penguin exhibit with Rick Kun and Hululu side by side.
Aww.
It's OTP to end all OTPs.
What was that?
It's an OTP to end all OTPs.
OTP to end all OTPs. No, I don't mean to diminish or make fun of people. What just happened? Oh, okay.
Screensaver.
Screensaver. So, next slide, please. I want to talk to you about how a friend of mine named Peter. He's best known online for a Super Mario 64 DS ROM hack. Everyone's got to have a hobby, I guess. But he is kind of he kind of occupies some of the same fictional yume or self-shipping spaces that I do, and his waifu is Madoka from the Madoka Magica franchise. And I asked him a few questions about this. We still got time.
So weird, like when you think about when Madoka's hair is down, it's actually almost like halfway down her back, but pigtails, it's just like a bob. It just bogs my mind whenever I see her hair down.
Anime physics.
No, it's just hair physics. It just boggles my mind.
No. That's anime physics.
Yeah.
As someone who has long hair, even when I put it up, it don't turn that short.
Yeah.
So it's like I do have it up, and people at work when they see it down, they're like.
Basically, what he told me was that he had a pretty traumatic life, and that and for him, Madoka was a source of comfort that he didn't really have anywhere else. And I kind of relate to that. I've been struggling with depression for a long time, and I've definitely had my share of ups, downs, and more downs. I'm gonna keep it PG because this is an all ages convention, but I've had days where I didn't know if I wanted to keep going, and Peter was kind of the same way, and he's gotten some flack for being a guy with Madoka as his fictional lover, but I know that this is real for him, and just like it's like what I have for Sakasa is real, and I think that's a very human emotion, to want to lean on something for comfort. Next slide, please. Another friend of mine in the Sorry, I'll stand up. Another friend of mine in the self-shipping community is named Campanella, and her fictional lover is Sync from the video game Tales of the Abyss. If you would you mind clicking on Sync for me? She made a kind of a fan shrine for Sync, and I wanted to show you a little bit of it. All right, we still have about 10-ish minutes. If you could you click to continue, and then click look around, and then yeah, just keep clicking. I hope you in the back.
I was going to let you know, I'm the next panelist. Take your time, man. I'm in no rush. You're doing great.
Okay, thank you. I've known Campanella for a while, and I know that Sync means a lot to her as well. We went back and forth for a while about how she's been learning Japanese to try to translate some of the media that Sync is in. And she wanted me to make sure you all understand that this is not a joke or a meme. This is genuinely the person she loves, and I think it's very human to want to be loved. And I think that's the real thesis of this panel, is that this is not something that we do as a ploy for attention. This is genuinely how we feel, and we did not choose to have these feelings, but this is kind of our cross to bear. If you could press FN and F11. And then go back to the panel. Okay, and then next slide. Okay, this is some art that I commissioned of Tsukasa as kind of a wedding piece, and it just so happens that the person who drew this is also a self-shipper. And her fictional lover is Soul from the Soul Eater series. So I think I've said the things that I really wanted to touch on, but I want to kind of double down on how important Tsukasa is for me. And I know we've had a lot of laughs during this panel, but this is where I have to be serious. In 2021, I tried to break up with Tsukasa, and I thought I didn't need her anymore. But as things in my life happened, I realized that I didn't know who I was without Tsukasa. And I didn't know if anyone could really be who Tsukasa is for me. And I'm very blessed to have I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but I am so blessed to have a fiance who understands all of this and loves me regardless. But I do want to emphasize that this is not a joke or something I do to be mischievous or even so I know someone made a joke earlier about Tsukasa also looking really young, but I don't want people to look at people like me and people like Peter and Sink. And Campanella. Me, Peter, and Campanella. I don't want people to think that we're a danger. Because what we're attracted to in the fictional world is not the same as what we're attracted to in the real world. And I think that's really important for people to understand. And I want to thank you all for coming into this panel with an open mind and letting me talk about the person I've loved for almost 18 years. Next slide, please. So I want to open the floor to you. If you have a character that's important to you, or you have something, if there's anything I can answer for you to help you understand what it's like to be in love with a fictional character, this is your chance.